You're right, Johnny. London Scottish need to regroup and refocus for 2016. Their recent league form is becoming alarming. You see the Bedford Blues being led out by their captain, Fountain Wells, who I think is in a happier place than they were last year. You know, they're sitting fourth, as you mentioned. They're a more balanced side, and they're enjoying their rugby and putting a little pressure. And I think it started off, Johnny, with that first away win, their first game of the season away to Bristol. So there's a lot of happy smiles around this ground today.
Seem to have lost their mojo the last couple of seasons, but it's firmly back now, playing their brand of rugby. They like playing it, fans like watching it, and we enjoy covering it. Nick Fenton Wells will lead the charge. So often an integral part of the latter stages of the Green King IPA Championship. Well, new year, but let's hope Pat's particular perspective pitch side is just as perceptive as previous seasons.
Well, there's no finer way to start the new year, is there, than standing in the mud at Bedford. There are so many factors today that will impact the way these teams play, none more so than the big slope into the bottom corner, which is going to clearly put some emphasis on the kicking games. But it's a real bog out here. Young men they may be, but they'll find it hard work underfoot. It is a massive game for both teams. So in charge, we have some real experience in Ian Tempest and the vast intellect of Rowan Kitt as our TMO back at the truck.
Crucial part of the season if teams want to break into that top four. Now is the time to make the move. For the Blues,
Mark,
time to consolidate.
time on, please.
Happy New Year to Goldington Road and the Bedford Blues. And it's London Scottish and then number 10, Dan Newton, who takes the kickoff. Straight into Rory Hughes, one cap for Scotland. Full international. And they've been helped by the Scottish players, haven't they? The likes of George Horn, we've already mentioned there. He is the lively number 9.
8, stop, 8! Thanks. Thanks, Mark.
There's O'Connor, who is rapid, and Pat was talking about the conditions today, possibly not the day for this back three of Bedford, but they will still put the ball through the hands. It's the way they love. They all buy into it, don't they? Always have done.
9, stop.
Taylor.
Touched.
Sharp. Very good at attacking fly half. Very good with
Back feet, step.
the ball on his boot. In terms of an attacking sense. I suspect London Scottish will certainly target him in defence. Here's the back three already for the Bedford Blues.
You can see the heat that Bedford are putting on London Scottish straight away. This sort of Saracen-based defensive push, forcing them into a, to have no space or time, and they've got to kick the ball. And actually, the worst thing they can do to Bedford back three is kick. They've got plenty of wheels out there.
Some Griffiths, the Bedford player. Here's Henry Taylor, virtually round the game single-handedly, along with the defence last time out against Moseley. Tough victory for them, kept them in fourth, just 5 points ahead of Nottingham in fifth, and extend that lead today in the playoff places. Of course, the top four go into the semi-finals, two-legged affairs, and then two-legged finals as well. Who could forget Bristol, Worcester last season.
Henry Taylor, the 9 for Bedford, just mixing things up, just popping the ball back inside, sleight of hand on that big miss pass.
Taylor again, just happy to get the phases going. That danger area now, they're playing up the hill in this first half. Bedford, it's a big hill as well at Goldington Road, isn't it? It's famous for it. I did hear 1 year, 1.5 metre drop from the top right-hand corner as we were looking at it, down to the bottom left.
It's a character ground. Long may it remain that way.
Say character or carrot?
Character.
Options, scrum work.
Let's get some early thoughts then of your man down with his wellies on, Pat.
Mark.
Well, if only
Scrum or kick?
I did have my wellies on, Johnny. Sadly
Okay,
not.
22 called.
Look, I think great opening exchanges there and some fantastic continuity from Bedford. But you've got to ask the question: is that how you play in these conditions? They've got a strong breeze behind them. It's very, very heavy underfoot. And how will this impact later on in the game as those legs become weary, as they surely will in these conditions? And will those holes start to appear defensively for Bedford? And that's probably been the one question mark for Bedford, really, is that defensive consistency, which they haven't quite matched, I guess, their enthusiasm that they have in attack.
Well, we'll have to see about that, Pat, but I had a quick word with the fitness coaches and obviously Martin Hines, the forwards coaches, and they're delighted with the fitness these guys have shown this season. It's one area they obviously identified from last, so we will see.
Tackle!
Season-long loan players they've got in the ranks now. Bedford has helped them. Joel Conlon, he's on the Bedford books.
Kick off the foot.
Henry Taylor is one of those loanee players trying to get the ball through there. Mark Bright, all that championship international sevens experience there, cutting out that pass, knows the scrum half is so lively.
And they'll need all his guile, Mark Bright's guile, because again, tremendous amount of tremendous amount of
not particularly too great, but we keep our feet close to
experienced players injured.
Middle mark.
You can just see it just gets in the way, arms out, unfortunately just knocking the ball forward, and this will be an area of interest for both sides. As if you remember the last game down at Ashton Gate, and we saw London Scottish put to the sword latterly in that game. It all hinged on this, and they just could not compete with Bristol in this area, so we'll see what goes on.
We get the first scrum. Maidment out, of course, for London Scottish. They had signed Jeff Cross on a loan deal for London Irish, and he got injured in the first bit of play. Howard Patman was involved as well for London Scottish within 25 minutes of his first game of the British and Irish Cup game for London Scottish. He was injured. That's to go alongside 4 first-team players out concussed at the moment, the likes of Josh Thomas-Brown, Drew Locke, Neil Patrick, Chevy Pennycook, and of course the racehorses that Mike Friday was mentioning, Miles Mantella and Matt Williams. They are at the bare bones, aren't they, London Scottish?
Absolutely. Josh Thomas-Brown to add another one. Hallam. Davy Young didn't quite fit the picture, so yeah. And underneath that, there's players that come through, but there isn't the experience, there isn't the sort of ability just to fit in and make do. That's why they've struggled. But again, they've been in most games. Unfortunately, it just hasn't gone for them this season.
Well, you remember at Bristol, of course, they were trying these line-out moves as Bright is twisting and spinning, and they came back at Bristol, didn't they? It was a nervy part for Andy Robinson's men, sort of 50 minutes in. 2
tries right at the beginning of that second half, and they all come off a short line-out, mostly with Mark Bright. But again, they take the eye off the ball, a turnover ball, and this is where Bedford can hurt you.
Need to keep hold of it, don't they? There's Pat Tapley.
Forward.
Pat Tapley just not looking after the ball there. The right winger for
forward by Blue
Bedford
on the floor.
Blues.
Scrum, white ball.
Fountain Wells, you can see there, that's the line they want to take. Bright does that so well. Like he said, he's wearing 8, but he's playing 6. And it's the ability then to get that ball away. And this is the heat they put on, and it's very Saracens, isn't it? One chops you low, and then one jackals over the top, and look at that. That's a great pile-in. Tremendous pile-in, and when it comes out, it's just unfortunate to control that Tabley with the ball. And then we come back to the second scrum.
And there's absolutely no doubt, when you look at those line-out moves, we saw them, didn't we, against Bristol. We saw them early on here against Bedford. Pete Richards has a really attacking mindset, doesn't he? He's a good communicator, he's a lively guy. You saw him out training the guys before the game. He's really vocal, gets the guys G'd up. He's quite clearly a young, good, bright coach.
But the problem is you start thinking about everything, didn't you, when you start losing those games. Like 1 win out of the last 7 league games. Started the season brilliantly, and look at this scrum being turned over. 4 wins out of 5. You think, great, everything's going well. Few injuries, or a lot of injuries, and all of a sudden you just can't get the same results, and then you go, oh, is our defence right, is our attack right? So look, I think he's got a tremendous future in front of him, but unfortunately his players at the moment just struggling, and they're struggling in that scrum. That's a good Blues pushover.
Crouch!
Yeah, just have a quick chat with Heinz, the Bedford coach. He's really surprised that London Scottish opted to play down the hill in the first half when when their legs are fresh. They expected, given that they won the toss, that they'd elect to play uphill whilst they're fresh in the first half, and then as legs tire in that second half, they've got the advantage of that slope to pin Bedford down in the second half. So I think all in all, Bedford very, very pleased that the Scottish elected to play down that hill first half.
Pat? Sorry, Johnny, I was just how fresh is Heinze looking after the new year?
I think this sort of pitch is right up his street, isn't it? He can wallow around in the
He'd
mud.
love to be in the middle of that lot, wouldn't he?
He's just far enough away from me, actually. He can't hear me, thankfully. Very like Oral was, Dowie, back in its day.
Stay close now.
Using posts nowadays, boys, not jumpers. Here's Sharp. Taylor. It's Flanagan, this new Irish second row, came over from France, recommended by Scott Murray, and they got the penalty. And here's Henry Taylor. Saw him inject so much pace on the bench for the England under-20 side. Just 18 months or so ago. Ollie Grove trying to rip that ball out. Sharp. Fenton Wells. The Cape Tonian. Sharp again. Oh, and it's huge space. Lovely angle from Taplin. The bourgeois. Lovely feet from him. Recognised the space. Here come Bedford though. And then there's a knock on. Just as the crowd thought they might shake off the hangovers with a big home score.
Scrum wide.
One of the old stages there. Phil Bolton just dropping the ball, and this is what you want from a Bedford point of view. They turn down the three, so that's right in the middle, and then Taylor's got a good skill set, and off he goes. And this is the way they want to play. You bust up the middle, and then you go wide. This is a great little break, comes straight through the middle. That's Tabley, doesn't quite get the good tackle from Cherry, and now this is a walk-in, or just one quick pass, and that would have and should have been a try.
Yeah, he was in that final, wasn't he? 2014. That won the Junior World Cup for England under-20s. He's a class player.
Give him a good picture.
Yeah, interesting. I spoke to my little brother, actually, his coach at Saracens before the game, and he said he has an incredible ability to inject life into a game. He's a real live wire, and certainly one that they have very high hopes for in the future.
Crouch!
A large family angel called Alex Sanderson.
Indeed, and it'll be interesting to see Phil Bolton now, the dropper of that ball, see what pressure he can put in or try to make amends. But that's a pretty good Scottish scrum. That's secure, and that's exactly what Horn needs. Good bust off the back, good set, and now a good exit, hopefully, from Scottish.
But they're with the heel, aren't they, London Scottish? They were hoping for this reaction against the loss to Ealing in the last round. But Bedford are a first half team, certainly. 60% of their points in the championship season, and only 42% of their points conceded have been in the first 40. London Scottish are a second half team, conceded less and score more in the second 40. So it's going as far as the stats are concerned so far. 12 minutes in is Charlie Clare is the decoy runner. Sharp rather ran the space away. Bolton manages to hold on to that one though. Mike Howard, none of these experienced players, and it's been that Bedford core, isn't it? The likes of Mike Howard, Phil Bolton, Paul Tupai's on the bench today. Is now 78 years of age. Paul Tupai, I'm going to joke.
You'd be very careful.
He's 41 years of age.
You'd be very, very careful.
No, it's his 24th professional.
Incredible, incredible.
24th.
And he'll come on with about 30 or so to go.
He's a fearsome sight, even at 41 years of age.
That's a great kick.
Isn't
For once, it's a good kick.
Much better kick, isn't it, from Jake Sharp? Much better kick. But so far, Mike Friday, the kicking has been poor from hand.
Yeah, I mean,
specifically London Scottish, they've got the ball back. The likes of Pete Lydon, who's got a monster left foot, and Dan Newton, who's very clever with his right foot. But they're finding the back three of Bedford and allowing them to run onto the ball, which is allowing Bedford to maintain field position and pressure. Now, Scottish have got to control the ball and either kick it high to compete or kick it off to get some field position themselves. Otherwise, it's just going to be relentless from the Bedford attack.
Got the kicking option in Ollie Grove as well, of course, at 12. Has been playing 10. But it's defensive duties and tackling to be done first up for London Scottish. Yeah, Tom Griffiths is in there. Spinning round now for Bedford. And it's big Mikey Howard.
Had no effect. I blocked it.
Such a consistent performer for this club over the years. His 145th championship appearance.
Don't hold players in the air.
2016, and it's the first try of the new year for Mike Howard.
It was. Well, the try line-out is organised by Flanagan, his partner in crime, and it's a tremendous set. You can see Scottish trying to push it when the jumper had come down, but they'd actually shifted the ball to the right, and really it was in total control. You had Griffiths coming in, some of the backs coming in, and then the best thing about it from Bedford's point of view, they didn't panic. The ball is at the back, it is moving, they've got 2 attempts to do it, and that doesn't need the TMO. That's a perfect try and a perfect start for the Bedford Blues.
Jake Sharp can't add the 2. Remember, he does blow rather hot and cold. Remember those finals a few years ago against Newcastle? He was seamless.
Look, he's a great player. He's one of these, I wouldn't say tackling's his greatest forte, but you need someone to organise the game. As you see the try being scored and the smiles, I think we're going to have a few more of those, but it was a good set from the Blues. But you do need a 10 that'll stand up there flat, as Mikey Rea knows in his playing days, orchestrating things from 15, who's willing to make a few mistakes. And this guy will, but I tell you, on his day, he is some player.
Lydon again, it's gone high. There was space in that corner again, and he does have a monster boot on him. Does Pete Lydon, former Stafford man. Here's Walker, far more of your dark arts type man. And just as I say that, he's knocked the ball over,
and he's killing
in
him.
The dark areas.
He's killing him, Johnny, at the moment. That's 3 that I can count. I'll tell you, it was well done by Dan Newton. He got Lydon out of a big pickle, but unfortunately Bedford couldn't capitalise on that.
Here's the first blooper of the new year.
Yes.
Knock on.
Here we go.
Guys, we're coming in.
Oh dear. Well, he might be reminded of that at their Christmas party. He was talking to Mike Rea before. I think they're having it on Sunday. Obviously, they've got quite a few games over the Christmas and New Year period, but they're allowing them Sunday, and that might be shown, I think.
I mean, I do have to say, speaking to Mikey Rea, Mr. Bedford Blues, Michael Le Bourgeois has been absolutely outstanding in the 13 shirt this season. Remember, came from Jersey, normally a 10 and a fullback, but he's slotting in at 13.
Look, we jest, he's a quality player again, and he gets stuck in, he carries the ball well. So we're allowing that one, but I don't think his friends might not after a few beers.
O'Connor, that passing not as crisp as we would expect from Bedford Blues so far. Is Perkins, so again, it's so lively. Oh, Lydon's made a mistake here. Needs the help now, doesn't he? And Rory Hughes is in there very quickly. Needed to be, really did.
Well, Hughes spotted the situation, like you said, Johnny, at the split of a second, because he could have been had for holding on. As it was, they just cleared the ball. Now, can they clear their 22? They're just getting a little bit complex at the moment. Just get it back and oof it, as Mike Friday said. You've got big booters out there.
All holds, nice.
That's another flatter.
Thanks, yeah.
And that's Olive Grove.
Blue hold.
Long distance drop goal attempt from Jake Sharp. My first blooper of the new year. I just called Olive Grove. So I do apologise. Olive Grove. But he's that third option of kicker. He has been playing 10. Dan Newton's been injured. He's been in at 10. It's a better balance with him at 12. He is really a 12. Has been there for a fair few seasons for London Scottish now. But he and Leiden as well, just using that kicking ability.
But what they're lacking is just, again, they're turning the ball over too much, and they're not carrying enough Scottish. That's the problem with them. It doesn't matter who you've got behind.
Sharp. Oh, he's put the ball to Tapley now. That looks deliberate. Rory Hughes is saying no, referee.
Penalty only.
It's a penalty in. Tempest has been around far too long.
Gone sideways.
No more than a penalty.
Deliberate
Correct decision. You go with one hand. You're asking for the penalty, and it's a good little break again. You can see the ground is not the firmest, but compared to what we've had up north and even further than that, it's like a Dubai desert out there.
Yeah, I'm stood at the bottom end of the pitch, as it were, and there must be a 3 to 4 foot runoff from one side to the other of this pitch. There's one place you kick it, and it's into Coffin Corner, and as you look at the screen, it's your top left, and it's enormously difficult to get out of that corner. Just spoken to Heinze again, he's like, you won't believe how hard it is to get out of that corner. He said, we don't use it enough, and it's our pitch, but it's unimaginable to think that Scottish have started this game, said we're going to play down the hill, and we're not going to kick into that corner and put pressure on Bedford. At the moment, it really is their kicking game that's letting them down.
In fact, last season, when London Scottish came here and beat Bedford, they spent most of their time in that corner.
And that's it, you plug it down there, you get your kick chase right, you get defensive pressure right, you pressure the Bedford kickers, and you stay down there until you get points on the board, and you go in at half-time with a 10-point lead that you can defend. And if they don't go in at half-time with a 10-point lead, they're in big trouble, I tell you.
Line out taken well by Mikey Howard. And again, the driving ball comes through.
And you got Fenton Wells at the back, Alan Mark Bright in a Scottish jersey, and now they go.
Taylor just drops on up for Tom Griffiths. He's a tough young lad. Oh, lovely footwork from Mark Flanagan. He'll enjoy seeing that one again and again. Doesn't he move well for a big man? 6'7", over 17.5 stones, and he's sidestepping like an inside centre.
Well, it's one apiece for the second row forwards, but again, it comes off a well-orchestrated line-out. Don't panic, like I said, Fenton Wells, the captain at the back. They do split again, and now it's the control and the decision-making of Taylor. Back inside from Griffiths. There's no heat being put on from Scottish at the breakdown. That ball is far too quick, and now it's just a matter of who wants it. And that is, like you said, Johnny, tremendous footwork from Flanagan. Controls the line-out, and he's controlling the ball when he gets hold of the ball and where he's going with it. Superb score, 2 second rows. What odds you got for that?
Matt Shields has gone off for head injury assessment. Yeah, Jimmy Litchfield is on, just confirming that now. Here he is, he's the one with a clean shirt.
Not for long.
No.
Not where he plays.
That is the last thing that London Scottish need, any more injuries. They've run out of sticky tape to try and patch this squad together.
You talked about that victory that they had down here last season, Johnny, but all those big quality players, Josh Thomas, Brown, you know, Maidments are missing, all these guys, and they really took it to Bedford, and that shows, you know, a good pack of forwards in this league is absolutely crucial, or in any league.
James Phillips, remember the big second row.
Yeah. Paddy Cook,
yeah.
you know you've mentioned it, but this is what they've got to deal with, Scottish. I think there was 6 frontline big experienced forwards missing from then that would have played in that game.
Sorry, Jacko. Okay,
yeah, there's 2 big influences, I think, on this game at the moment. One is Scottish's inability to kick tactically, but you would have to say the heart of the Bedford pack at the moment, 3, 4, 5, where that age and experience actually is in this Bedford team, are really controlling the set piece. And Flanagan there we saw with some fantastic footwork, you know, to get a 5-pointer, and they've been a real influence for Bedford at the moment. We talk about this wonderful ball retention, etc., but actually there's some real hard work being done up the guts, as it were, by those slightly more experienced men, shall we say.
Olive Grove going off.
No, mate, he's got an ice pack.
Ollie Grove. I'd like to be in an Ollie Grove.
Yeah.
We're in Bedford instead. Ollie Grove, he's gone off, at least won't have to say his name
warmer.
again. But he was sidestepped, wasn't he, by Flanagan for that last try. You can see here, I mean, this is a second row, 6'7" against the number 12. He should make that tackle. There's clearly something not right, and therefore he's in the stands. His afternoon's work is done.
And the shirt off, I think it's when you can't move off your knees, normally ligament damage, but we'll still give it to Flanagan. It was a great. Just learning that it's a shoulder injury, but it doesn't matter. I don't think he'd be playing any further part in this game, and the pressure builds for Scottish as Bedford get another scrum. So they've got their work cut out today.
Scrum goes down. He's clearly, with that strapping on that shoulder, he clearly wasn't right. That was the right arm to go out for the try, wasn't it? You can see the tackles already made by London Scottish.
Same mark.
Those metres, that shows their dominance.
Absolutely, the carries, they've only had the ball a minimum time, and it's just 12 carries against 46. You're not going to do anything, especially with their kicking game as poorly as this.
Long bind, stay square.
Anyway, Lee Miller is on.
Crouch!
Did I say it right, Lee Miller?
Bind!
I don't know, just
Set!
Millar, isn't it?
No.
Lee Miller is a useful replacement, but Ollie Grove is a real leader in this team.
Around the
Any
outside.
knee leaders at this
Around the outside.
time of the season.
Down, around the outside and then through.
Only won one of the last 7 championship games, got
Around the
6
outside.
match points in the last 6 games, and this start to this game could not get any worse than under Scottish.
Oh,
On
not
the flip side, Bedford are laughing.
Yeah, I'm not surprised Fenton Wells has asked Sharp to go into the corner. 2 line-outs, 2 very good line-outs have been the platform to 2 very, very good scores. So action areas speaking for themselves. Scottish cannot get out of their own half at the moment, let alone out their 22. And it's becoming sort of a procession of possession for the Blues.
Not competing, trying to counter
Here
drive.
they go again, mate.
And it's Nick Fenton Wells who splits off and he scored. If it's not broken, don't fix it. Try number 3, all from the line-out drive, and it's that man, Nick Fenton Wells, the captain, who's backfiring this season, was quiet last season by his own very high standards, and he caps the first game of this year with a try.
But you've got to say it's pretty passive defence from Scottish. You know, it's a good set, very, very good set from Bedford Blues, but really there's 1, 2, 3 guys there. Fenton Wells is a good score, you've got to finish it, but that's a good finish, it's a good stretch. 3 tries from the forwards, and like I said, it's looking a pretty harsh afternoon for Scottish unless they start tackling and start getting back out of their own half and putting some pressure onto the Blues.
Sharp, it's a nice strike, is it? 19 points to 0. We can have a little word with Martin Hines now, forwards coach of the Bedford Blues. Martin, happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you as well, Johnny. Are you nice and warm up in your box?
Very, very warm, thank you very much. You must be very warm, very warmed by the start of your team. It couldn't be any better, could it?
It's gone very well so far for us, Johnny, thanks. Yeah, I spoke with Dowie a little bit before the kick-off, and we knew it's going to be a big challenge for us today. And so far, you know, you never know it's going to pan out, but so far, the bones of it, a set piece has gone reasonably well, and it's allowed the boys to play off it a little bit.
I was going to say the set piece couldn't have got any better, could it? The scrum's working really well. Driving off the line-outs come... Well, the 3 tries has come off the driving line-out.
Yeah, we've been challenging the lads to come up with the ideas, and they've come up with what they wanted to do this week and practice it in training. And we're back to 100%. It seems to be working so far, but you know it's an 80 minutes game, and we've a long way to go yet. So I'm definitely not getting too excited about it. There's a lot to do, but hopefully the lads will have a good grafting session today. With no show ponies in that pack of forwards, and hopefully they're all going to put a shift in for us.
And all of this, Martin, when you're going uphill, second half, it's going to be a breeze, isn't it?
Oh, no, it's not. Like I say, it'll be an 80 minutes game, and you know, it's not over till it's over. You know, when that fat lady sings, I'll be having a couple of beers with Dowie, and we can have a laugh and a giggle then.
Hey, it's white one sugar at half time, please, pal.
No worries. Thanks very much, fellas. Catch you later.
Cheers.
I know.
The London Scottish can't even win the line out. Sharp, LeBouge one out. They got confidence here. Piers O'Connor, that's how you get out of that corner. Lydon. Hughes is back there as well. Lydon's screaming for the ball on the right-hand side. He thinks he can see something. London Scottish have got to try and find something from somewhere.
They won't find it in the touchline. That's all right in touch. I've got to say, Rory Hughes has probably been their biggest ball carrier. Again, he's sweeping well in defence.
One wide, please.
But they're giving the ball, once they get the ball, they just give it away too quickly. And you can see Blues see this, it's on down the left-hand side. Possibly that kick could have gone down the tram lines a little bit more. But really the ball comes back, Hughes carries well, and then it just goes a couple of phases out and they run into touch.
I mean, I can't see any part of the London Scottish game at the moment, Darry, that he's going particularly well.
They competed as well. Okay, it makes it even more obvious. Not straight.
Is there a lack of confidence? You've only won one of the last 7 championship games.
Mate, it has to play. You know, it has to play on your mind. It's the pressure, obviously, the Blues are putting up this new sort of Saracens. It's not Saracens base. It's just having the communication and the structure to go together. You put heat on that. The one guy chops you down. The other one gets over the top and jackal. And as it said, they've turned probably through, I think, 3 or 4. And then it's that pressure of being 19 points down. You've got to do something extra special, and that's when you get in real trouble. But you know, we can only hope for Scottish that they'll sort things out, and they may do now.
Lydon, brilliant work from him. Oh, and he's got through as well. Needs the support inside now. Good covering tackle, wasn't it? There might be the spark of inspiration for Scottish.
Well, you hope so. That's Newton's just passing the ball out. Lydon is a gifted fullbacker, played in France, so a bit of experience around. It's a good cover tackling. Bourgeois goes in first, and you think he's going there, and they get him at the gang tackling. It's Griffiths in the end, and that's, I think, it's Lydon's first carry. So that just shows normally he's doing a lot of damage and a lot of work, and that's the first opportunity he's had this afternoon.
Such a dependable performer as Pete Lydon. Miller. Well, this is better from Scottish. Ball now looked a little high from Fenton Wells. Walker is the link man. Bright. This time can't get the hands free. So often does.
But they've got to protect this ball. That's what they've got to do. They like to play this way. A lot of movement, a lot of offloading, but they've got to protect the pill.
It's Newton to Miller again. Ferguson. These young Scottish lads who come and try to help out the exiles. It's better from London Scottish.
Caught by white, then by blue.
Carrick Smith in there, and again it just comes to nothing.
There's Walker. Again, it should have been taken, that pass, but they're a totally different side when they don't have to be sort of suffocated in the tight exchanges, in the lineouts and the scrums. You know, a great amount of skill. You can see Ferguson going through. He just trips on the turf, but it's good support play, and then he just recycle. And this is where they're dangerous, is when they create phase after phase. Unfortunately, Walker drops on, and we come back now to scrum time once more.
Crouch.
And then you see the handling errors every time they've had the ball, which hasn't been that much. They made 5 handling errors to 2, so they're just gifting this game so far to the Blues.
You've got to remember, Dowie, London Scottish only conceded 27 points in the league, up at 2 today, alongside Jersey, the best defence in the league, as Blues spring out of action again. It's those 2 young men that we spoke about right before this game. George Perkins Taylor inside to Conlon. England under-20s boys, all of them. Piers O'Connor was involved as well. Henry Taylor fancies one himself. Is he just short? Is he just short?
Time off. What's your angle?
Short of line, worth checking the tail out.
Okay, thanks.
Officials think
Kitty, can you hear me?
maybe short.
Kitty, sorry, not any reason. We believe it's short of the line, okay?
Yep.
The question is try yes or no, please.
Understood.
It's very difficult from that angle. I don't know whether you can see it from this one.
Well, it's short to begin with. I'd certainly that's definite. Does it roll though, momentum?
You only have to kiss the line. Basically, it would suggest that downward pressure.
This is your best angle,
Yeah.
the live angle.
It's very difficult to see. It's a TMO's decision, so Rowan Kett.
The end of the ball is touching the white line.
I think it's kissed the line, personally. I think it's kissed the
I've not
line.
got a clear and obvious shot that he's reached the line.
Okay, so...
But let me just have one more look at this angle, which they've just shown to me.
Yeah, no, Bruce, thanks.
One more angle.
Oh, this should definitely tell us. Should definitely tell us. Well, he's short initially, and then with the momentum. Short there. And you would say, as the guys get pushed over.
Okay, tempo.
Yeah, Kitty.
He is short on the grounding.
He's short on the ground, so it's
Yeah.
scrum 5 blue.
Correct.
Okay, time back on, please.
Time on.
Oh, he's short. Oh, there's groans all around here. Just quiet groans. There's a few headaches around.
Okay,
But if you're not 100% sure, you can't give it, and it's just unfortunate. But it was a tremendous breakout. Again, a mistake from London Scottish, a quick thinking from Jake Sharp, great pass of the ball, and then it was just a foot race with two of the quickest on the field. A mistake initially then from Scottish, and it could have been, well, could have been a fourth try.
Piers O'Connor, the man who broke out in these on this season-long loan from Wasps. Alex Lundberg is also on the same kind of deal from Dai Young's Wasps. He's at Loosehead now it's down to him. Conlon, their under-20s teammate, and they won the penalty. Now what do they do here, Dowie? Kick it into the corner.
Well, they've scored 3 tries off 3 line-outs.
But the scrum's going well
so
as
that's
well.
going well, but I think they're getting more quality ball and more quality setup, and I think that's, well, it is the right decision. You mentioned if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and it's gone well. And, you know, Taylor's orchestrating things at 9.
Okay, on the
You've
5.
got to say Claire's throwing's pretty good. Flanagan's calling the line out superbly, so you would say on form and on precision, this could be the 4th try.
Claire with a throw. Flanagan again. Good combination. They spent it round. And again, they're coming. Again, the Blues are coming. Looking for try number 4. Millimetre short just a minute to go. Are they short this time? There's bodies all over it. Freddie Clark's got his big frame in there. Miller's in there as well. Dave Cherry.
Off we come, guys, thank you.
But it's Mikey Howard scored a second.
Kitty, can you hear me? Try yes or no. If not, I'm playing advantage for 3 side entry into the maul.
Understood.
We've got the TMO, we're going to check it. If not, a side entry by 3 white into the maul. If not,
I don't know what we're going to see, because I think there's a lot of bodies. You say the momentum's going forward. Fenton Wells is pushing Howard, like he said, he's already scored 1. The ball is on, I think it's on Mark Bright's leg. So I think the skipper's done a pretty good job of holding that up, and I think the Blues have been denied twice now. I don't think you're going to be able to see anything maybe on this angle, but Bright's in there, he gets his knee on it, and then all of a sudden the bodies come over. You can't see it.
difficult. The other one was far more clear cut, wasn't it? Henry Thomas. There's the ball there. See the under Freddie Clark.
It's Freddie Clark, apologies, not Bright, it's Clark's under that shirt change.
We'll see what happens then,
And I think Clark's done a good job.
When he's been canny, isn't
But
he?
he's
Now
going
the
to come back.
cameras are around.
He's going to come back for Bedford's penalty anyway, because obviously Scottish came in at the side. So that's a mess. I don't think you can give
Tempo.
Yeah,
I've got no clear and obvious shot of a ground in there.
Don't think they will.
No try. I'm going penalty 15.
Correct.
No
try.
try, penalty,
Penalty 15,
in
side
15. Now, these penalties in the red zone, in
entries
this
the ball.
attacking zone. I mean, London Scottish in the last round against Ealing spent majority of the game, especially second half, 90-odd% in the scoring zone against Ealing. Now it's their turn to defend.
major part of the game. Do you go up? Do you compete with the line-outs? They haven't.
Blue, how many?
On the recent
6 man.
occasions, the trouble is it makes it an easy ball for Bedford to claim, and then they just shift it. We'll see where this one goes.
Best defence in the league, of course. London Scottish with Jersey.
Backwards.
That's a good try. Carrick Smith is in there.
Four's legal.
Now it breaks away. Conlon again, he's so confident with ball in hand, isn't he? There he is. Howard clears out. It's there for Taylor. Now it's the front rowers. It was Bolton. Now Sharp wants it, flicks it on to Perkins. Great carry for the winger. He has been busy in this first 35 minutes. Stretching to this right-hand side, the Blues.
That's holding on. That's holding on. This one's no clear release.
Holding on again, Horn.
Clear release.
These penalties, Dowie, are mounting up now.
Yeah. I think that, oh, they're off, Johnny. Don't put your microphone down, mate. I want to play this with a lot of pace, and again, Henry Taylor just saying, no, we're not going to go there, we're going to go for another try.
That was Lundberg. Sharp looking inside. Le Bourgeois bags the bonus. It was coming, wasn't it? And there is the fourth try within 36 minutes.
Happy coaching team, happy player, happy side. The Bourgeois jersey born. Made a bit of an impact
4.5
since he's been here. And really, it's just, again, a simple walk-in made by Henry Taylor. Everyone was just sort of, and from a Scottish point of view, just walking around thinking they're going to go into another line out, and that was going to, how they were going to stop that. Taylor quickly taps the ball, and then it's just, people are just holding their hands up all over the place just to get this ball and to get over the try line.
So many options Sharp has every
Just
time he has the ball.
absolutely, Johnny. Left, right, behind, his calls all over the place. And that's sloppy defending. Even though there's people coming back on different angles, that is pretty sloppy.
Vantage knock on Blue.
Yeah, London Scottish
Off
sort of
Blue,
half
forward,
gathered the
scrum wide.
restart. It was knocked on. You can see the flurry of tries. 3 within 10 minutes. And then that one just a moment ago. 4 tries already.
Looks like not a happy new year for those two. Tim Payne, Peter Richards looking on. What do you do? What do you say at half-time? You know, you're just not getting any ball.
Crouch!
What you're doing, you're kicking badly away. It'll be interesting to see what Mike Friday says.
Set!
Big blind side now.
Far side. Far side, guys.
46 tries so far this season.
Far side. A far side.
7th
Same
try
ball.
bonus point.
Same ball. Same mark, sir.
This is the 13th game
Mark.
for
No,
Bedford.
there's your mark. Thank you.
And that is
Same ball.
the identity. That's the way that Bedford play. They realise they only train 3 nights a week now. That's gone up since last year. There was only 2 last year.
Again, I know what they do. They actually come here and spend an extra 15 minutes each of those sessions, this 45 minutes a week, working on specifics.
Pre-engage.
And that's helped them this year. You know,
Far side.
it's amazing to think they are only sort of semi-pro. But again, it's another indiscretion at scrum time has given Blues. You can see the momentum and the passion they're playing with.
They're playing with smiles on their faces.
Absolutely.
The brand of rugby that people want to play, whether it be those dual rates players, those lone players, or whether it be the Bedford players who've been here for ages. They can express themselves, but there's the moment that could just bring London Scottish back into this game. Playing with too much wit, and Rory Hughes is there to score a really simple one back for London Scottish, and that has stunned and somewhat silenced Goldington Road.
Well, he's trying to get his players up, and actually in defence he's been outstanding. And this is unfortunately what can happen with Jake Sharp. He does it too often, he fizzes the ball. It's all one-way traffic. Well, it was up until about the 38th minute. And then Hughes has seen it. He's seen that ball just looping up there. And this has happened on more than one occasion for Bedford Blues. It is a weakness in Sharp's game. And it's great vision from Hughes and a good finish. And just what Scottish need, just what this game needed. They've got a little bit of
really good scrums
just coming into that second hand, so they've got something to talk about. Those two coaches have got something to talk about now going in there. Just keep pressurising, and if Bedford are going to gift us a few tries, we'll take them. But they've got to sharpen their forwards up. But this is just a walk-in. As soon as he caught that, the big striding winger, Glowden from Glasgow, who's only going to be one winner.
But down you can easily counteract that as a Bedford coach, can't you? To say,
look,
we've gifted them. They haven't created it themselves. We've created all four of our tries.
Absolutely, but I'm just pointing out that, you know,
you're building it up.
And building it up. It's something. It's something for at least Scottish to. And I mean, they've been battered in this first half. They've had very little ball. I think that's the right decision. Get into the changing rooms and try and galvanise yourself. So what could be a pretty depressing and ruthless 40 minutes, unless you get your real heads on.
I told you 15 seconds.
Another mistake.
Oh dear.
I told you 15 seconds.
Thinks that time was up. I was looking very closely at the clock. 39 minutes, 45 seconds when he kicked the ball out. I wonder what he was doing.
6.
Well, and they get another chance to counter-punch, to cancel out the try.
This would be the biggest counter-punch if Bedford were to get a score from this.
George normally would go into the change rooms and they score from here. Griffiths, he'll wrap around from Taylor, fires it out, and it's not to me anything, but it has certainly been Bedford Blues' half, hasn't it? Bonus point try, all wrapped up the hill. 26 points to 7 it is at half-time over London Scottish. As I say, 4 tries, all from the line out. The set piece firing well. This was try number 3, scored in a space of 10 minutes for the big second row. All the way of the Blues here on New Year's Day at Goldington Road.
But it's half-time in the Green King IPA Championship here at Goldington Road, and the home team Bedford, well, they are the form team at the moment, and they are value for money once again. 4 first half tries. You know you got problems, London Scottish, when you got second rowers stepping inside centres to score tries. They have dominated the opening half here at home. A bit of a lifeline for London Scottish, an intercept try to Rory Hughes. He ran away, but the half-time score is 26 points to 7. So a huge mountain to climb still for London Scottish in the second half. And it's painful reading the numbers for the visitors. Look at that. Possession, 73% for Bedford. Territory, 69 metres, made 235 to 186. And look at the gain line success. Plenty of tackles had to be made by London Scottish. And they conceded a lot of penalties as well, playing a lot of the game in their own half. And they have all sorts of problems here at Goldington Road. Mike Friday and Pat Sanderson alongside. Pat, well, you said at the start of the the start of the match that Bedford are flying high and they're doing so many things right at the moment. Well, they played a pretty good opening 40 minutes as well, haven't they?
Yeah, there's two ways to look at it, isn't it? Have Scottish been poor or have Bedford been brilliant? And I think there's been an element of both. I think two very telling stats there was the gain line success versus the tackles made. 50% of the time they're over the gain line. Yeah. And you couple that with the balance they've got to their game. The front five are absolutely dominating at set piece as well. It's very hard to see, given the dominance in all these areas, exactly where Scottish will get back into this game.
A lot of these tries have come off driving mauls. I mean, is there anything that Mike, in this position, that London Scottish can do to try and stop this in the second half?
Well, they've got to make sure they're not in these positions, and that comes back to when they have had the ball, they haven't used it well. Their kicking has been appalling. Out of hand in terms of finding the open areas or turning the back three of Bedford, coupled with the basic areas when they've managed to get themselves down in the Bedford half. I mean, they had a great line-out opportunity, the overthrew. They've then had other opportunities in the Bedford 22, and they have, they've just made silly basic errors, and you can't afford to do that when you're under the pressure that London Scottish have been in that first half.
I mean, there is a bit of a breeze here, running left to right, but as we look at it, but I mean, it's not that big, is it, Pat? I mean, no, the kicking's been that poor.
The kicking has been that poor, but the biggest impact that Scottish can have on this game is between their own ears, if you ask me. The areas which really show your commitment are when you're defending driving line outs and when you're defending the gain line, and those are the areas where they failed miserably today, and that is a mentality and it's a psychology, and what we see there in those mistakes are just knock-ons of that lack of focus. And if I was Pete Richards right now, I would be screaming blue murder in that changing room to get some emotion out of those players, so they come back out here and they throw the kitchen sink at it, because that's the only way back in now.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think that last try by Bedford to get them the bonus point, that's inside D switching off.
Yeah.
And you can't afford to have that. I mean, that's schoolboy stuff, and I think that's the reaction that Pete needs. If we can get that defensive alignment, that defensive line pressure when they have the ball, then all of a sudden you'll get that big hit. It'll find you. That'll give you momentum and allow them to find their way into the game. Hughes has given them a lifeline, but they've got to score first, second half.
Yeah, I mean, they did lose to Ealing on Boxing Day. Pete Richards said before the match that he expected a big turnaround, a big response from his team today. Well, he hasn't got it. This has kept him in the game to some extent, but what is he going to be saying to them now at halftime?
It's all about emotion. To me, it's all about emotion, because they're good enough players. When they get it right, they're good enough. We've seen that early on in the season. They've just got to come out there with an absolute blistering attitude to say, we're going to turn this around. Real belief, real work rate, and that's not a difficult thing to instill at half-time. I tell you, it takes some motivational speaker.
Yeah, and then that coupled with Pete Lydon and Dan Newton putting London Scottish where they need to be on this pitch. Yeah. They've got to turn the Bedford back three and get field position, because if they do that, they can then exert their own pressure on the Bedford team. Yeah, well, as it stands, the Bedford Blues are third in the Green King IPA Championship. They played a very, very good opening 40 minutes. 26-7 they lead London Scottish. Join us next for the second half. As we go inside the London Scottish dressing room, and it's hard to think what they might be trying to do here to turn this around here at Goldington Road. They've conceded 4 first-half tries, a lifeline with a try of their own just before the half. It finished 26 points to 7 that first 40 minutes. And Mark Bright, the captain there, the number 8, trying to rally his troops to find something in this second half. Can they come back to describe it for us? Dowie Morris and Johnny Hammond.
Yeah, thank you, Rupert. It was a near perfect performance, wasn't it? That first 40 minutes from Nick Fenton-Wells and his Bedford Blues side here.
Time on, please.
On New Year's Day. That try right to the depth of the first half just gave London Scottish a lifeline. And of course, have won the last 4 against Bedford. Tough ask, though. As Bedford now down the hill. 79% possession, was it, Darren, that first half for Bedford?
73. But again, you can't be competitive in a game. You're given that, if one side has got that much possession. He said, 4 tries to 1. And like he said, Hughes keeps them in the game. And you can see there is, even though they have got the advantage of this slope, and it is quite an advantage. The wind is slightly against them from that box kick. You can see from Taylor just hanging up. So Mike Friday saying Scottish are going to score first in the second half. Well, they surely have. Let's see what they can do from this scrum.
Yeah, looked Very miserable place in it, the London Scottish dressing room. Is Freddie Clark, has been playing really well, the 23-year-old. Very much the future of London Scottish. Really good skill set. He's very explosive off the base of the scrum. That's why he's playing at 8 but wearing 6 rather than Mark Bright. Now there's an opportunity, isn't there? There's a good early penalty. Get this into the corner.
First time, again, I think I've seen Freddie Clark being able to just launch himself off there. And the problem is with that, again, that wasn't as clean as it should have been. They've got a penalty out of it because Bedford were pulling players off the feet, but now there's an opportunity for Sherry.
On contact. 8.
Communication right to the man who should be getting this ball, we will see.
58% of their points scored in games come in their second halves of games. London Scottish, their defence gets tighter as well. We're talking about Bedford being a first half team, London Scottish very much a second half team. As this rain begins to come down here at Goldington Road. So we're going to help in the attacking rugby. Hall is trying to take that one quickly. Bright skips out of the challenge, but the whistle has gone.
But what you do as a coach, you've got a good start, you've got a good scrum, you have a platform, and then this happens. You know, it is a bit of a shambles out there because you've just got to nail it. It's a great defensive set again from Bedford Blues, and they've done well when it's been their ball, and equally as good on the defence.
Mikey Howard got a hand in there, didn't he?
Just
great work from him, and Lundberg as well. Got down and dirty.
And Charlie Clare's been throwing well today,
hasn't he?
Yeah.
It was the criticism laid at him in his early years, wasn't it?
Exactly. You know, sometimes you need to concentrate for the full 80 minutes. And, you know, when occasionally a couple go awry, his game used to go. Now off he goes again, Taylor.
Yeah, Taylor with a quick tap, and Tapley's through. Here comes Tapley's tucked the ball under that right arm. Need it quickly to the left now. They realise that. Taylor is caught though. They've just burst out of defence. Flanagan, O'Connor. Taylor fizzes it out. There's the hooker. And now we've just been talking about with his arrows. Now there he is in the open work. The Bourgeois. Bright doesn't miss many, and he doesn't miss the outside centre there. There's Lundberg, this young Wasp prop, just 21 years of age. Taylor has started this whole thing off sharp. It's flat this time. Back to his hooker. Sharp dummies the big cutout pass, isn't he? Because he knew the Bourgeois was right on his shoulder. Here's Griffiths. Uses the footwork.
Both centres love offering themselves, don't they? There's plenty of options there from the 10 when you've got two centres saying left, right or behind. It's good play, good communication.
Harry's trying to turn that ball over, but still there for Taylor. Lundberg. Good physical strength from Lundberg there. Here's Bolton. Doesn't drop it that time. So close to the line. Taylor, it's wider this time. Good variance in their play. Conlon just breaks down for a moment. Ferguson is smashed off the ball. And Fenton Wells, he reacts quickly, doesn't he?
Not on ball. Can't be a holding penalty.
But again, there's no panic with Bedford. If it does go behind them, they've got to regroup. They do. They set their pattern up. Again, it's forwards, like I said, not only those two centres, it's the two props. You've got Lundberg, Bolton asking for plenty of work.
Clare as well.
Yeah,
second rows.
One of the crucial guys at the start of this build-up. Seems a long time ago since Tapley screeched through the defensive line.
Hands on the ball.
The musketeer winger, isn't he, with that moustache?
Looks like Flasher off Blackadder. But again, it's that guy. Taylor, Pat was talking about Alex Sanderson at Sarries, thinking then Tapley in full flow.
Must attack the ball straight away. 21 on the ball.
And then he can just
on the line,
recycle the ball. They haven't panicked, and I'm sure this will go into the corner. A la like the first half, and they scored 3 tries
You're fine
off the liner from a good set. But the rain is coming down, so Yeah, crucial that the call is correct.
Claire has the call. Same result for the driving maul, isn't it? Spinning off the side, Benton Wells was sharp to the base of the driving maul. It's another try for the home team.
Well, the ref said it and you said it. Same maul, same result. That's, there's no contest. You'll probably get a bigger contest in unopposed sessions in your training, because again they've gone forward, and how many times have we seen them? They just take the initial hit off Scottish and then just go around the corner. Fenton Wells at the back. And any sort of viewer or watcher of the championships so used to seeing Mark Bright, the London Scottish guy, scored, well, the captain scored so many tries off that, and Fenton Wells has just elevated into that. But again, it's, as the first half finished, the second half has started exactly the same way for Bedford.
Second try for the captain. And Sharp add the two. No, he can't this time, and not sure it's going to make much difference today.
Yeah, good chat with Heinze there as well about what their messages were at half-time, and he said, don't overplay, keep it simple, stay to the formula. That's what worked for his first half, and we saw that, didn't we, in those opening exchanges. They went to the corner, and the same result again, and yet more dominance from Bedford. I don't expect this is going to change.
Just every forward guy is just so comfortable with ball in hand. We struggled last year, didn't they? Finished in 10th, Bedford. The year before they were down in 9th, but the year before, of course, they were in the finals against Newcastle. Bolton with a latest run. 4 carries from the tight head now.
He's on feet. Support is a late to arrive. Holden.
Right, that's the first time.
Sorry?
I think we've got a scuffle going on down the other side. We don't need for that. There's no point in it, but Bolton just, again, mixing up the game. I think it's going to go to the box kick from Taylor. And there you go, the big fella.
You two. Time off, Kitty. 2. You two.
One of the longest serving Bedford players, and he's going to enjoy that. Didn't quite make it with the Tigers in their academy.
Ball's clearly gone. Okay. No, just miss you.
That's great. What do you want to see from a scrum half? George Thorne is a big tight head charging towards you, but for the first time, it's Fenton Wells, not only a try scorer. There's nothing in it.
Holden.
Of course, they came into today in the 4th, didn't they?
Awareness, guys, please, now.
Bedford Blues.
Okay, you're on the line.
Seem to have got their mojo back. They had a raft of players a couple of years ago, went out. Dan Seals.
Full line, thank you.
Sasha Harding, those core Bedford guys. They went away. The young crop came in. And they're a couple of years older now. They've got some good dual registration players, and they've got that core of experience as well. And they've got a bit between their teeth this season. You can see it the way they play.
I think this is where the championship works very, very well, especially for Bedford. They have alliance with Saracens, obviously Wasps, and you can play 6 dual registered players, and it works. It makes sure that players that have gone to Saracens Wasps aren't sitting on their backside doing nothing. They get a very good sort of performance in playing for these teams, Scottish and sort of Bedford. So at least they're playing rugby and enjoying it.
The penalty was coming in at the side of Bedford.
That's quite good from Scottish. They've actually got a turnover on the floor from Bright, and now they've got a penalty here, so this will go into the corner. Not very nice conditions. It's pretty cold and the rain's come in, so Scottish it was an uphill battle anyways, but especially with a greasy ball.
Oh, Dario, I know you give me a great deal of grief about my weather application on my telephone. It's wrong today.
Is it wrong?
Yeah, the rain was due 6.
You're on the line.
Well, certainly
you're on the line.
Between 5 and 6, it's come early, and it does not make it any easier for these players. But this is London Scottish, their opportunity.
Well, winter finally came today, didn't it? There's ice and frost about this morning, and I think that frosty welcome from Bedford has carried on as far as Scottish's performance so far, but can they get something out of this?
Need something, have to score here. And half an hour to go. Walker controlling, they're over that line, it will be a score.
Watch players, Lionel.
They needed it, they had to score there, did London Scottish. Chris Walker just congratulates Cosgrove right at the front of that driving maul. And they have something back, London Scottish.
Well, it was a great take from Will Carrick-Smith. It was almost going down Bedford's side. He just manages to get it back, and normally it's Bright at the back. This time, it's Walker. The Kiwi is there. And again, pretty soft from Bedford, but it's exactly what they needed.
An extra half a second once the ball goes.
Well, a New Zealander gets one over for London Scottish. Lydon not been kicking particularly well of late. He's reflected the team and their confidence. Pat, your thoughts to that early score in this second half?
Actually, it was very considered. It wasn't, there was no hairdryer treatment. It was all about getting your hands on the ball, starting to get some control back in the game and controlling that gain line. And I think we've seen some good signs that they've started to do that in the opening exchanges. That first conceded try aside, I think actually it's been far more even, and there's just signs, I would say, that if they can get their hands on the ball and retain it that little bit better, that they can start to make an impact in this game.
Take it in, take it in! Wait!
Nicky on.
Okay, hold on, yeah.
Serving at the club, isn't he? Longest serving, 117 appearances in the league for London Scottish. The hooker.
No, lads.
But they won't be panicked from London Scottish. They scored a couple of very quick couple of tries against Bristol. There's no reason why they can't do it here against Bedford.
Piers O'Connor deemed that ball had knocked on from the up and under. Well, from the it's gone backwards from his hand.
Yeah, that clearance kick we just saw from the Scottish there, I think is a good indication of just how strong this breeze is. 40, 50 metres in that kick, and I think if Scottish can use that intelligently, then they can start to put some pressure back on Bedford. I think it's a meaningful breeze.
Crouch!
It's a new year, you'd think he'd learn in the new year to wear some decent, appropriate clothing. He's still got the leather brogues, he's got a woolen coat, he doesn't learn, does he?
Step it over.
Pneumonia now for the new year.
Wind.
Yeah, well, it's just all his time. You'd think he'd know from being a northerner.
He's tough, that's what he
Moves
does.
south, that's the problem with him.
No coverage on top to keep the warmth in there.
No, that's going as well. See that? Look at
There
that.
they are.
Is that 9-inch heel or a full 6-inch heel? No, see?
And there's no comeback either. That's brilliant.
That's a city coat, isn't it? Not a working coat, that's a city coat. Anyway, leave it there. Here we go.
His cousin's playing in the centre for Bedford.
It's backwards.
Here's
Jim,
Clark.
you're off feet, that's why it's not a penalty. Nah, stop. Thanks.
Newton, it's just downtown.
Up the 10!
Ground to cover in terms of the scoreboard. Lydon.
Wait, don't go!
That's a better looking kick, but Jake Sharp realised it was coming. He's outside the 22. It's bouncing, is it, towards that touchline? It is. In the end, it's just about into the London Scottish half.
With the Carlos Spencer at his best there, wasn't it? But I think they don't have to force the game, Bedford. It's theirs, it's in the bag. They've got 4 points. sorry, they got 4 tries to get the bonus point.
White numbers.
And you just saw then when the Scottish were kicking the ball out, and they've got a little bit of wind advantage. There's 4 guys back, just sweeping at the back, so it's very, very easy for them.
Ball. The line-out is functioning better. Not sure what was going on in the first half when the Scottish line-out. I mean, Carrick Smith is a big man up against Flanagan today.
Well, they've changed the hooker, haven't they? Who's Nicky's on.
Blue 10 offside from the line-out. Wait, let me give him one.
That's Bedford. Blues making the very simple mistakes.
Blue 10 offside from the line-out.
Back line not 10.
The last time they got a try from this, from Walker, kicking into the corner, catch and drive. Has he overcooked it? No, I think he's just about absolutely precise. Not quite 5 metres, still give him about 10. So a bit of work to do for the pack.
Okay.
It's whether the throw's right. Carrick Smith commanded the line out last time, and it wasn't the greatest to throw, but the result was perfect for Walker.
Numbers. Full line. 6.
Won the first 5, 4 of the first 5, didn't they? Carrick Smith just about gets a ham, and it's not the way that they would have liked it. Litchfield, Jimmy Litchfield goes down onto it. Was Nicky now. And Walker will pick up from here, but he doesn't get far, does he? Bright is there too. Clark just about edging forward, aren't they? But they are beginning to play this game far more in this second half in the right places. Here's Hall. It's an injured player for Bedford. Matt Howard is down. Clare makes the tackle though. Almost had to go right because of the injury.
Fenton Wells doing a great job over top of the ball. They eventually brought him down.
Horn desperate for that ball now. It's out to Newton, who just juggled with it. These greasy conditions now. Miller feels he has to go in and help out. Might be better served as a first receiver. No, it's going to be one of the forwards for that role.
And just here of the lone Pipers just started up. As London Scottish has just kept hold of possession.
Now they're showing the kind of patience that we've seen from Bedford majority of this game. Hughes is in there, the winger, seeing if he can use his big frame and his power from the base of a ruck.
Well, it's a very, very sensible game plan, because again the ball is so greasy, you've almost got to double catch it, so you've got to almost be certain when you go wide that you are going to score a try. But it's good effort from the Scottish forwards, pick and drive.
Bolton was trying to turn that ball over. I think they're still down at 14 men. Yeah, they are, the Bedford Blues.
Sorry guys, I'm stopping play, you're going to have a scrum.
Coming down towards this injury, and in the end, well, it was obvious, wasn't it? Ian Tempest had to stop the game. Mike Friday's got some thoughts for us.
Yeah, it's just interesting. We're starting to see Scottish actually play a little bit smarter with their field position. Their kicking game actually trying to exert pressure on Bedford to make them play from deeper. And that's allowing them to get field position, and now you're starting to see momentum move their way. They've got to make this possession and this territory work in their favour, though. They're a little bit blunt at the moment with their one-out pick and goes. They've got to try and be a little bit creative, punch some holes in the middle, and then work fast around the corner. But they're playing the right type of game. They're being a bit smarter. They're looking after the ball. And if they can get over for a score, then this opens this game up again.
I seem to remember somebody mentioning using their kickers, the likes of Lydon and Dan Newton in the first half, Mike. You should be a coach.
That was a long time ago. That was a long time ago, Johnny.
Perhaps you're better at the shortened game now. The shortened game, you're not
easy,
short.
Easy.
Have you two finished now? All right.
Oh, we're just throwing a bit of New Year's love around, are we?
There's not much love out there, the wet conditions as they are.
Isn't, is there?
But a great opportunity. You see, George Horn, he's a tremendous attacking prospect, and he's normally everywhere on the field, but he's just been limited, he's been blunted today. as Mike was talking about, maybe they can launch something off this. Freddie Clark normally likes to come. He's seen left, he might go left, or they might go right. Left it is.
There's a bit of hand in there, it's Horn. Oh, he's knocked the ball on. Fenton Wells knew the scrum was coming anyway, he just sort of fly hacks it. Ball was smashed to the ground.
And that's when you're just desperate for something to happen. It was the right option. You can see there was a good set-up scrum. Clark had normally gone off on the right-hand side. This time they come back. Just says his opposite number, is it? Taylor, normally. Any good scrum half would like to mark his own man if he possibly can. He was looking to dart back inside. You never want your opposition to score. You know, it's Taylor's time to clear his lines. He's not in the greatest position, right in that corner. Wind coming against you, rain coming against you, and the Scottish pack not doing too badly in the second half.
Is that their opportunity? Get something back into this game.
Get our balance. Okay, that's fine.
Just under 20 minutes left in this game. 7 points there. 31-19, 31-17. It's a little bit of pressure just goes back onto Bedford side, but as it is, there's a mistake on that blind side. And Taylor. That's his scrum, but it's a penalty to London Scottish.
Out the scrum.
Out the scrum. It wasn't for the collapse in the scrum, but it was for out of the scrum. But Scottish won't mind. They'll go into the corner. There's Bright. Now, will they be able to, again, John, as you said, just to narrow this lead that Bedford have?
My side. Who said?
Action here is better.
60%.
Yeah.
And Mark Bright is lightning from in a very different way. He's a poacher, isn't he? He's a Thomas Waldron, isn't he? From this kind of area. Mikey Howard getting some ice on that right ankle. Your cling wrap. And here's Bright round that short side. Felt it would be going down that near side. To Bright, Carrick Smith.
Arrival!
7 tries so far this season for Bright. I dearly love one. Here's another penalty coming to the Exiles. Newton, so they try just to put it down the back line.
Offside.
They're offside. Horn wants it quickly.
No, their best opportunity, that's it. Calm things down, go back into the corner and try and nail it from the line out. Atrocious conditions now, really, for handling rugby, for running rugby. As I said, so difficult. You got to double catch it. This is good. The old front peel. Is it Lundberg that actually tackles Bright? They're coming around the front at a rate of knots. You see the loose head getting up there. I think he did the job and stopped that that score. It's good mix in the match from London Scottish.
Who's Nicky? No, he's overthrown. Jump wasn't right, you can't just blame the hooker. It's the whole combination. And it's 2 piles on for Howard, one experienced man on for another. We'll repeat it again. We said that first half, didn't we? 24th professional season for Paul Tupai. We're now wearing 18 of Samoan International.
And that was a good chase then. They got out of a good exit position, good kick up, but then again, your kick is only as good as your chase. Playing at the action straight away, carrying and tackling, and all of a sudden they're back on the halfway.
He's playing this territory game, isn't he? But Bedford are defending reasonably well, certainly better than they have done most of the season. Only Moseley have conceded more tries coming into this game.
Good kick from the fly half. That's exactly what you want. But again, the game, I think, is something miraculously happened. The clock is Bedford's friend. There's Tupai, what a servant. What a player.
He was playing when you were playing, was he? He was certainly playing when Pat was playing, anyway.
I got very strong words from Paul Tupai there not to call him old on TV, so we shouldn't do that. He's a big man, but we should not underestimate the fact that I didn't. I said we shouldn't, but we shouldn't underestimate the. I don't think the contribution that man has put into this club. He has been absolutely crucial to so much success here at Bedford.
He's one of the first guys. You come and watch training here. He's one of the first guys out of the training field. His son helps out with the water bottles and brings the balls on, and he's one of the first guys that Mike Rea will compliment. A lot of things are built around him and his work ethic and his commitment.
You two are just trying to get back in his good books, aren't you?
I've got nothing but praise for the man. Tapley. Oh, where's this one going? It's ricocheting around between O'Connor. It's still bobbling around. We just hear the Benny Hill music now, and it's all complete.
$10 and $15 blue subs.
And trust me, as a sub, that you just don't want to come on this field. You can imagine, unless you just had a very, very good warm-up session, but you're cold, you're wet, you're chasing a game.
I know we've got new players on.
So,
how many blue? Time on, please.
Raft of subs coming on.
But credit to the crowd, they've turned out in tremendous force and voice. Bedford, a very proud rugby town city, and just it's great to see, even on a not very nice day, but the team's doing well, and I think if they carry on this structure they've had and the way they've balanced this aside, they'll be there or thereabouts to the playoffs. And challenging.
Miles Dorian is on here, he's 21. He's to and fro the club. He's had a couple of outings in the Premiership over at Exeter and London Irish, but he will bring a great deal of experience and nous and experience to proceedings.
Strong message from the Bedford bench there, really. When that penalty was awarded, it was put your foot in it, guys, and take your breather. Let's get some structure back in the game. Loud and clear from Heinze. Not that anyone understood him, but you, Dowie.
Time on.
You've changed, Patrick. You have, haven't you?
I have, rather.
I bet you a goose for Christmas, didn't you? Like turkey. No, good old northern turkey.
Taylor, Dorian, he's a southerner, Southern Australia. Clare, Tupai. Yeah, they just beginning to get their hands on the ball and say, no, we've had enough of you. And there's Spencer Wells with a delicious line. Thought he was going to go all the way. Kwasnicki is back there, though, for London Scottish to save the day.
But look, when they put Scottish in, they did observe a tremendous amount of pressure from Scottish. It was going to happen. It was always going to happen. And now they're forcing the play.
Lee Miller can't do anything there, banging the boards behind the try line there.
But what a lovely move. Not just for a ball. Bourgeois, superb. Miles Doran just on the field. There you go, just sleight of hand. Bourgeois has been outstanding in the midfield, and this guy has been pretty good as well. He isn't going to get there. If he goes for the line, he's going to be hit and slid into touch. So he looks for the offload, and with the conditions as it is,
time off, please.
Didn't happen. And there's another man who's had a pretty good game, Clare.
Started the day on 37 points, didn't they? Bedford up to 42 and third now. Of course, the rest of the championship fixtures are tomorrow, of course. Yorkshire Carnegie away at Ealing, so they may well take Bedford again. But they're up in third. But the big difference, isn't it, is that 8 points now between fourth and fifth. Nottingham, well, they're home to Bristol, so it's a tough one for Martin Haag's side. But they've been putting in some performances this season of Nottingham. Knew they were putting together a decent squad, but Ealing to pick up the wins, don't they? And Donny, unbeaten in the last 10 games. Away at St Peter tomorrow.
We're up there at the end of the month, aren't we? Donny and Rotherham.
Certainly
Can't
are.
wait.
Sponsored a new contract for Clive Griffiths up there at Castle Park.
Well, he's turned it around. Fair dues to Clive and the players.
Clark, that's what he does so well. He's so explosive. Off the base of the scrum, we're being told.
First defence, tackle as well, please. 12 move.
It's the 11th carry for Freddie Clark.
Momentarily slowed it down.
Get that info, Dowie?
I didn't hear Rodders then, sorry, Rodders turned it down.
He's really excited, doesn't he?
11th carry.
Yeah.
11th carry.
By comments like that, you won't be on this field.
Always on the button, mate. But no, it's actually talking to Tim Payne,
Time off,
forwards coach. He really rates Freddie Clark and is expecting probably not to have him for long, if you see what I mean. Because he hasn't had much of a platform to go off, but obviously he's experienced with England 7, so you can see his pace there. He's in the first season, but I think maybe a big club will come a call. And he's a big lad, as you can see, and gets over the ground very quickly. And it's the Vogue now. There's Tim Payne on the left. To have these big eights, you've got to have a big 8 that carries you. It's just going to become a bit of a lottery now in the line out. There's headers going on.
Then a knock on. Opposite. Scrum.
Yours, mine, anybody's.
Line out has been a bit of a lottery, isn't it? Line out's 1-11 by Bedford, only lost one. London Scottish have lost through. Brilliant stats as ever. Provided by Rodders, mentioned earlier. Jeremiah, statistician.
Nice, stay close. Thank you, Wade.
Change of scrum half, isn't there now? Jordan Bird, this young scrum half. Another young scrum half, 21 years of age, England students, man.
7, stop. Thanks.
For Bedford Blues.
I can't see the line. Wait.
Just under 10 minutes left in this game. There's Fenton Wells, who's been superb. Pat Tapley has continued his really good season. 3 tries he's scored. Great run earlier on.
White on me.
Stephen Jones.
He did well. He really did well. He read the situation superbly.
Free kick, mark called.
With the extra and just going across. And now it's just a matter of taking the clock down and getting his forwards back. There's no need to bust a gut.
Let's go.
The first half performance was good enough to win him this game.
26-7, wasn't it, at half-time? Clark still trying the London Scottish, Johnny Harris. Oh, really nice skills. It's 2-on-1. On the right-hand side, was that the right option? Ferguson was screaming for the ball outside. It's just not been their day. It's not their season so far, London Scottish.
Rock is formed.
This is one moment of brightness, I suppose. Lovely skill over the top. Jason Harris, and then it just fiddles out, unfortunately. Do so much good, and then they just can't retain the ball. Just gives Bedford a chance of boofing it down. Their big forwards will just lumber towards this line out, get the call right, and dream of their New Year's Eve party in a couple of days. They deserve it.
Can you just have a time check, please?
Io Allo's on now in that Bedford Blues front 5. Bill Pop goes off. Now cheers for him, the former Rotherham man.
Front man, guys. Let's go! How many? 5. Time out, please.
Young man who's through Saracens, isn't he? Junior World Cup winner in 2014, came off the bench for Paul Hill, starting for Saints today. Young tight head. Harrison Richards, wasn't it, for Ian Peel to Pick against. Now, of course, Ian Peel involved the Saracens. And England, of course, we're helping out with their scrum effort in the Six Nations with Eddie Jones.
Michael, you've carried it back for me.
Well, rugby's good, guys. Huge back on after head injury reversal assessment. They did so much in that first half, didn't they, Bedford Blues?
It's a good knock up there by Conlon. Absolute superb forwards. This is great play, you got to say. From Burns, who's one of the quickest, I've been assured, he's one of the quickest on the field. He won't show it today, and that was a great movement. Again, just keeping the pressure on. That's all it is waiting for the Scottish to make a few mistakes, which they did, kick that ball out in the full, and look what position they're in now.
Now looking for more. 4 tries in that first half. 1 in the second half for Bedford. They want more, though. Burns. Lundberg. He's been brilliant, hasn't he, Lundberg? Miles Dorian. Great hands, Perkins. And then Lee Miller is there. He's done really, really well, Lee Miller, the Scotsman. And they're going here. Newton comes. Crossfield, whistle's gone though. Not sure Collins realised it. Neither is Moran. Sorry, Moran. The referee said it wasn't taken from the mark. Ahead of the mark.
Blue on the neck to clear at the rock.
For those neck rolls.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Sorry, I didn't see it. It's just that's one thing they have been very, very hot on. Referee's been told is anybody making contact with the neck or using that as a lever to get off the ball will be penalised. So.
And you think about it, it's a really good defence from the Scottish outer, and his second tries conceded today. It's been ripped apart by Bedford. They love playing here at home at Goldington Road. Surprised that they went uphill in that first half.
The replacement is on. Wait, guys.
But they did enough in the first half, didn't they? They do try to blow teams away. You quite often find that with the big French teams in the top 14. Try and blow teams away in the first half of games, and that's what Bedford Blues have done here. Only defeat in the last 8 now, it's looking more than likely, was to Doncaster in early December. 5 from 6 in the championship now for Goldington Road. And they're still trying to turn that ball over, and it's Jordan Burns, 75 minutes into the game, 31-12 up, shows everything you need to know about the spirit of this squad.
I was just going to say spirit, togetherness, it's no different really. Squad, they're more settled, but they seem happier. They know a structure, and that's what you need from coaches, is give a structure and everyone play to it, and you've got to say they've done it. But they also do have tremendous pace, and when that ball is on, they'll go. They haven't shown it today. It's been one for the forwards, but actually when it does get a little bit drier, hopefully in the spring, you'll see how fast this team is.
Massively impressed now with the front 5 and their ball handling ability.
The platform has been set, but also I think the communication skill between that back row and the backs has been first class. But yeah, as ever, you're not doing out without a good set piece and a good front 5.
Tyrone Moore. Surim is Bright, who will continue to try. Allo's in the way.
Funny enough, same as yours in the first half.
He'll be cup winner with Saracens last season. Was Koyo Allo. He's a big, big man. Pushing 19 stone, 6'2". And there's Lundberg on the other side of the scrum. He's not happy with that decision. I think that's all that bouncing around means anyway. Now it's about that time of the day. You do your first man of the match, Green King IPA man of the match for 2016.
2016. I couldn't pick one. In the front 5 have been outstanding, but to pick one I think would be wouldn't be unfair, would be totally unfair, but actually one guy that's been through some hard times and some good times in this club, and he's been outstanding today in his leadership skills and how he's commanded himself on the field. 2 tries as well. Nick Fenton Wells is my Green King IPA Championship Man of the Match.
Yeah, superb all day. He's led really well. He's with the right options, isn't he? That's Brian Kwasnicki.
Well, you need someone who's going to make those right options, and when they wanted the call's got to be right in the lineup. The scrum's gone okay, and look, it's been good for him because again he's been a commanding front 5, but he's been standout. A standout performance.
The London Scottish still coming here. Started today in 8th, didn't they? They remain in 8th, of course, for the rest of the fixtures tomorrow. But it's another game. Richard said to me before on the field he had a funny feeling about today, a good feeling. That has not transpired, has it?
Well, they're looking the wrong way, aren't they, Scottish? They're looking down rather than up. I don't think they'll be there or thereabouts. There's too much quality, but it's a horrible thing losing all these games, and all of a sudden teams underneath you start winning, and my goodness me, your confidence goes, or the confidence goes away from you. So maybe a try here to take into the next game could be a fillip.
Yeah, it's tight in the middle of the field, middle of that table in the Championship. Feel they go on to a couple of British and Irish Cup games against an Ospreys Premiership Select 15 in Munster 8. Next Championship game is Yorkshire Carnegie at home, then London Welsh away, and then the Pirates at home. Difficult fixtures, all then Nottingham away from London Scottish. Lee Miller. He's caught one there. And that looks...
Kitty, can you hear me? Okay, first question
is straight in there.
Try yes or no, please. I have no
just
screen.
as he was
I'd like to check
for
for
the
any
line.
potential foul play in the tackle before the grounding, please.
Understood.
I'm checking the legal. First of all, checking grounding, and I'm checking legality of the tackle.
It's a couple of swinging arms, Dowie.
No idea. I'm checking it.
Let's have a wee look. Lee Miller going in. It's bourgeois, but no, all he's done, he hasn't gone in deliberately. He's actually behind. His right hand is obviously behind where he wanted to make the tackle. He's just held his hand up. He hasn't made.
And then Allo comes in, but he's purely just...
Well, what's happened is Miller's dipping for the line anyway to ground the ball. I think why he's hopefully he's not hurt. It's probably his pride is a little bit by not grounding that ball.
I can't see, Dowie, that there's any malice there.
And there's not. He's only just caught him and slapped him if possible. He's dropped the ball. That's the problem for him. Nothing to answer.
Tempo.
Yeah, Kitty.
First of all, there's no try.
Okay,
it's
so
lost
no try.
forward.
Okay.
But Blue 13 has come in and committed a tackle around the neck, high on that player.
Can I just check the blue number? Is it Blue 13 you're saying?
Blue 13.
Okay.
Okay.
Captain, please.
And
yeah.
Probably
conversation is going over to the TMO
without the foul play, a try
wants
might have been scored. Probably a try would have been scored.
Okay, Kitty, so facts on the table is it's no try to start with. However, Blue 13 has committed foul play.
Yeah.
It's a yellow card against Blue 13 and a penalty try.
Correct.
Okay, thank you, guys. There's no try. The tackle is illegal. It's a penalty try against 13. So I need 13. 13. Dangerous tackle. And it's a penalty try. I'll find out for you now, okay?
Penalty try is the judgment.
Just the time check as well, please.
Michael Bourgeois is being given a yellow card.
That's a dangerous tackle.
And to get the conversion as well. Strange enough, we will have time for one more play, I fear.
Well, you can all make your own minds up at home, but I didn't think there was anything there. I don't think Mike Raya understands that decision. And I'm actually, all our cameramen have got the thumb down saying, what on earth was that for?
He's dipping, isn't he? Sliding
in to score a try.
Trying to stop somebody trying to score a try.
But he hasn't deliberately. Whatever.
It's not going to make a difference.
It won't make a difference, but actually you've got to make the right decisions. You've got to make the right decisions. Hey, that's in my view.
Seeing
Rowan Kitt's got to make his mind up, and he has. So anyway,
interview with Nigel Owens on the Sky Sports website this week, saying we've got the technology, you have to get the decisions right. Like certainly a closer look at that one outside the heat of the moment. London Scottish continue to get the penalties, and Mark Bright continues to play every minute of this season and play well, but he will be in the losing team today. And London Scottish continue to lose, don't they? 1 win in the last 8 now. And they've got that penalty try late on. It's only 6 points now in the last 7 championship games. And that rather sums it up, the knock-on to finish the day for London Scottish. But it's all wrapped up in the first.